What's up, everybody? So after a couple weeks, I have finally finished up the Skypiea arc, and let me tell you, this is one of the best arcs I have ever read in any manga, point blank, period. So it's way too detailed for me to cram it all in this one video. So this is part 1, covering the first half of the arc, and also I'm going to be including some visuals so you guys don't have to stare at my stupid ass face the whole time. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into this. So picking up where I left off, Nico Robin has decided to join the Straw Hats, and obviously not without some suspicion. I mean, even if she did save Luffy from Croc's poison, she was aiding him from their point of view. It turns out that she obviously lied to Croc about the details of the poneglyph, and she's looking for the Rio poneglyph, which contains the true history of the world. So I'm curious to learn more about these poneglyphs. It's honestly making me feel like I'm playing an RPG and trying to find all the hidden bonuses, if anybody understands what I mean. But anyway, while sailing around, a fucking ship falls from the sky and the log post starts to point straight up, indicating land above. And after coming across a map of Skypiea and getting excited, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji were sent to go salvage the sunken ship, and that's when Masira, the Salvage King, showed up trying to do the same thing. Now, after the crew he sent down to salvage the ship got bodied by Luffy and the boys, he decided to go down by himself, unknowingly making friends with them before a large turtle showed up, followed by a storm and 3 large shadows of giants, which instantly had me hooked on trying to figure out what the hell was going on. So they sail to Jaya since they cannot find a way to the Sky Island, and they dock in Mocktown, which was lawless and full of pirates. They run into Sarkis of the Bellamy pirates, who pretty much takes them for a joke and just so happens to have an old copy of Luffy's bounty poster when he was worth 30 million berries. Now at this point, Luffy has no idea he's actually worth 100 million, which is dope. Bellamy comes through to pick a fight with Luffy before they get ridiculed because Nami was asking about the Sky Island. Everybody seems to just think it's a myth, and Luffy was unfazed by the mockery and told Zoro not to respond. Now this so far is one of the most important scenes here. Luffy let Bellamy body him, and it was pretty much a callback to the beginning of the series where Shanks let the man in the bar ridicule him, knowing that he wasn't worth the time to fight. So outside of the bar, one of the men from inside the bar met Luffy with some encouraging words, and at this point I was thinking that he was connected to Shanks or Ace somehow, because he also knew Luffy would smash some dudes if he really wanted to run it for real. So once they get back out to sea, they run into Shoujo, who happens to be Masira's brother, and after a brief scuffle they meet Mont Blanc Cricket, who happens to be the master of both Masira and Shoujo. He is a descendant of Mont Blanc Noland, a man that was executed for claiming the Sky Island was real. Fucking sucks. Cricket clearly knows that the island is real, so he talks with Masira and Shoujo about helping Luffy and the crew reach it. He talked to them about the Emperor Nimbus Cloud and the knock-up stream, which is needed to get the ship into the sky, and he even mentioned the giants that we saw earlier briefly. So at this point, I'm so invested, it's ridiculous. The lore and build-up is so rich that you really can't help but get excited. These boys and girls are on a real adventure, folks, and you just gotta respect that. So Bellamy's bum ass shows up, washes Masira and Shoujo while Luffy and crew were out, trying to capture that annoying ass South Bird that they needed to get to Knockup Stream. Cricket, while they were fighting, he hit Bellamy with the Lil Wayne lighter flick, but he ended up still getting rocked. Now once everybody got back and realized who caused the trouble, Luffy went full thug mode and set out alone to go whoop Bellamy's ass. That's one of my favorite moments right there. He cracked his knuckles and told everybody that he'd be back by morning. This nigga Luffy is so hard, it's ridiculous. So Luffy made it to Bellamy, who had an interesting spring-based devil fruit, but Luffy ended up putting his ass down with one punch. He hit him so hard that he left an imprint in his face. Now back at Cricket's place, Zoro was basically explaining that they knew Bellamy and his boys was trash, so they didn't want to waste their time. In other developments, trash ass Buggy and Alvira are still trying to kill Luffy, and Ace showed up on their ship for some reason, promising some information on Luffy. Now we get a little more insight on Whitebeard. Apparently he's the strongest pirate alive who once fought Gold Roger to a standstill. And we also had the first appearance of the World Government Supreme Authority. They were discussing Shanks and Whitebeard being in contact, and they mentioned filling the hole left behind from Croc and his L back in Alabasta. Luffy is also on their radar, which I already know is going to cause some problems here in the future after this arc is over. There was also the introduction of 2 more of the 7 warlords. We had Don Quixote Doflamingo and Bartholomew Kuma. Marine Vice Admiral Great Staff Suru and Fleet Admiral Sengoku also showed up. Mihawk also showed up, so this is an epic meeting, and whatever it's about is clearly super important. And I think Mihawk is specifically interested in Zoro, which is why he's there. Then we had a man named Lafitte who stuck into the meeting to recommend Blackbeard as Crocodile's replacement. Then we get our first glimpse of Whitebeard, who just ripped up the letter he received from Shanks. So, why the fuck is he so big? My first thought is, was he a giant? That could be the only explanation for this hulking, towering ass man. Also, is he sick or is he dying? He was hooked up to a bunch of IVs with some nurses around him. But whatever. Then we find out about the man from the bar. He happens to be fucking Blackbeard, the same guy Ace is looking for and former member of Whitebeard's crew. We also had met some of his crew members in passing way back. Remember the dude that was on the fucking horse? So the writing and the setup for everything that has been happening up to this point is epic as fuck. I honestly have no idea how this man Oda flosses so hard with the plot. It's ridiculous. So much lore. The lore is rich with this one, y'all. I'm dead ass in love with this series. So back to the Straw Hats. The Going Memory gets a Rooster upgrade, and on their way to knock upstream, they run into Blackbeard and his men. Blackbeard pulls up on them and updates Luffy on his new bounty, which is 100 million berries. And then his ship, if that's what you want to call that collection of logs at this point, gets destroyed by the knock upstream. He laughs it off and mentions that they will meet again. He says all strong pirates on this journey on the Grand Line will cross paths. And thus, the Straw Hats successfully ride the knock upstream into the Sky Island. Now, in all seriousness, at this point, I'm having trouble thinking of arcs in other manga that can match up to the world building and setups that happened in just the first half of this arc. So, Grand Line is no joke, and these pirates are no joke, and the Straw Hats are no joke, and everybody wants to smoke, and Luffy is always ready and willing. So in the next video, I'm going to cover the second half of the arc. Like I said earlier, it's just way too long. Too much is happening for me to condense it all into one video. I don't want to lose you guys. But fear not, part 2 will drop tomorrow, so I hope to see you guys again for some more discussion. Now, again, obviously I'm truncating a lot of the details, but I'm fitting in most of the important details for you guys. This arc was way more detailed than the Alabasta arc. It's crazy. It's so rich. Like, that's really the only word I can use to describe everything that happened. Like, I was so invested. Like, that's why I took my time when I was reading, because there's so much going on that felt significant. Nothing felt like a waste of space in any of the panels. Everything was important. There was no filler, so it was a lot of information to digest. But I definitely love this arc. It's my favorite arc in the series by far, and probably like top 3 arcs for me in any manga like ever. But yeah, I want to discuss some of those points I touched on with you guys. I'm really curious about the World Government Supreme Authority and the 7 warlords and what the hell is going on, all this craziness. And is Blackbeard even that nasty to be up there with the 7 warlords? So, I mean, he was Ace's subordinate, so if he was Ace's subordinate, would that mean that Ace would be on par with one of the 7 warlords? I don't know. This shit is just crazy as fuck, and I just can't wait to do this next video to kind of wrap up everything that happened in this crazy ass arc. But definitely give me a like and a subscribe if you guys enjoy this series. I'm going to be continuing it. I am now 1/3 of the way caught up to everybody else. Once I am done, I will continue doing weekly recaps on the One Piece chapters. So I'm really looking forward to doing that with you guys. But yeah, follow me on all my socials, YaBoyRoshi, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. all around. Check out my store. The link to my merch is down below in the description. I really appreciate your support and love, everybody. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Hopefully you guys have watched this video and enjoy your day or your night, whatever time you're watching this, and I'll catch you a part 2 here very soon.